Frank, you mentioned Kylian Mbappe. You talked about how tactically Borussia Dortmund did excellently to contain him. However, people will come at you and say, well, look, people did everything tactically to stop Lionel Messi, to stop Cristiano Ronaldo. If we're putting Kylian Mbappe on that pedestal, it's nights like these that he's got to prove the difference.
That's true, and they would be right. And I was frustrated. The first leg, we didn't see anything, but we say, okay, maybe. And Jürgen, you alluded it at the beginning of the show, saying that we are expecting something. It never happened. It's like he never wanted to go into the game and take the lead and say, okay, I'm going to show you guys, how we're going to go for it. Dembele tried a little bit, was quite inconsistent at some point, but we never saw Mbappe. He was trying to do something, seeing that he couldn't go. He was coming back and giving the ball back to either Fabian or Reece and or Vitinha. He never tried. He never went for the challenge. And it's why I was frustrated. If you are a player with that talent, Messi would have gone for it. Ronaldo would have gone for it. Maybe they would have been stubborn. But he never tried. And that's very frustrating because you know the talent that he has and you know that he can create a difference, and he didn't today.
How do you explain that, Jürgen?
Well, his head is somewhere else, maybe. His head is full, or, he's too worried about what comes up next, in his career, which is all understandable. But this is the game where you have to show up. This is the game where, you as a manager, you hope that your leader, your best player, will prove a point, and you put all your cards into his basket. And he was not able to do that. He was not able to make the difference or send out signals during the game. Also emotional signals, not necessarily has to score a goal right away or get a penalty or whatever, but he has to do something with his body language, with his energy to kind of pull with all the other guys in the right direction. And that was not the case. So you had a feeling that there's no real leader on the field of PSG tonight. And this is sad because those are the games, they're not coming back anymore. And you regret those games. If I would have shown up that game or would have done a little bit more than 5 or 10%, even if I was tired, I was whatever issues I had, I could have done that much better and we would have gone to Wembley in that specific year. And so it's a huge missed opportunity for Mbappe and for Paris Saint-Germain.
I think at least the image that we see from Mbappe in today's match and in the last week's match, too comfortable allowing other guys taking a leadership role in the attack. Too comfortable allowing Dembele running with the ball and Barcola running with the ball and Vitinha being their best player. At some point, you, because of who you are and your skill set and your stature in the game, you have to be the one that says, no, me. Give me the ball. So many times we think of Kylian Mbappe as a guy who says me about the contract conversations, the negotiations, the rumors, the news, the front page. But it's in this sort of moment in the game in which I want you and we want you to say, me. Give me the ball. Because I am the one that has the skill set and has the tool to make a difference. I cannot be as good as Mats Hummels has been over the last couple of games and Nico Schlotterbeck. I cannot be controlled and dominated by Mats Hummels at this point in his career. You cannot allow that to happen if you're Kylian Mbappe. As good as he might have been, and I'm not taking credit away for the center backs because they were great, and the back four, they were great. Not taking credit from them. But at this point, in Mats Hummels' career, he cannot be capable of controlling Kylian Mbappe if Kylian Mbappe is running at him with speed. But we never saw that. Now, you can give credit to Hummels in that he didn't expose himself and he didn't allow that to happen. But Mbappe never forced it, never actually made it happen himself. And if Kylian Mbappe is not doing it, what are we expecting Dembele to be consistent all of a sudden? That's never going to happen. We're expecting Bradley Barcola to make the difference. Well, he's a young guy. Vitinha is hitting shots from everywhere trying to make it happen. Didn't quite work out for him. So you look at Mbappe to be the guy, and if he's not the guy, who is? Nobody.
It seems the king's ransom they paid him to stay in the end was not worth it.
No.
Now, he stayed to be the difference maker, and he was not. Maybe he would have been the difference maker had he gone to Real Madrid before he led everybody down the garden path, including Real Madrid and the PSG at times, before he turned on some claptrap story about project. Maybe he would have been the difference maker there. But he had to be the guy that stood up in this game. Now, you mentioned, we talked about it last week, the Messis and the Ronaldos, they just had something special at those key moments that drove their sides to excellence, to brilliance, to the pinnacle. He didn't have it. And I tell you what, he's going to go to Real Madrid, and we all know that. But he goes to Real Madrid, and there's a guy at Real Madrid I would have before him at this moment in Vinicius Junior,
Really?
who is the difference maker in big games, who does turn up and who does do special things. I know he's won a World Cup. I know he's a great player, right? But I think he has to refocus a little bit on what this game is all about for him, you know, and being able to balance, to be able to balance out what he's striving for as an individual and what's most important as a team. And I don't think he's quite figured that out yet. Even at this, maybe he will when he goes to Spain. Maybe he will. But he was a major, major disappointment. I mean, it's not just this game.
No.
Barcelona, 2 legs. A poor Barcelona side, another defensively poor side. He was not great. Semi-finals, 2 legs, Borussia Dortmund, not great. That's not what you're looking for when you pin yourself up as a superstar.
Go on, Frank.
I have a question for the guys, you know, and Jurgen said that maybe his head was already somewhere else. Don't you think that the fact that it could have been a Paris Saint-Germain Real Madrid final was into his head, and that he was maybe subconsciously wondering what will be his attitude, fighting against the next club he's going to play, maybe winning against the next club he's going to play, that maybe that was too hard to analyze?
Frank, what if you answer your own question? What would you say?
I would say that it shouldn't happen. You should go do your job and see what's going on. But it's true that I imagine myself, you know, giving my big time for Strasbourg, for example, knowing that I'm going to sign for Chelsea and we're going to play the final of the Champions League against each other. So, what will be the welcome from the fans if I win the Champions League? And then you start thinking too much about that, and maybe you start not playing your game the way you should play it.
Well, he wasn't great against Barcelona for 2 legs, and he knows he's not going there. And I don't think it's a factor at all, because I think at one point we all thought Man City were going to knock Real Madrid out, particularly in the second leg. Didn't happen. Look, there's no... I don't think that comes into it. If the worst case scenario, if people think of it that way, it was PSG, Real Madrid at the final, he scores a hat-trick. All he's doing is showing Real Madrid. You know, there'll be a few fans that will be, just a few.
Yeah.
Most of them will be like, that's what we're getting. That's what we're getting. So I don't think that's a fact.